next speaker is the amazing Dr. Yvette Jones. Right? She is a leadership coach, strategist, and international speaker known as the Caring Leader and the founder of iCare Leadership LLC. She helps women, leaders, build people-centered, high-performing cultures while leading with clarity, confidence, and balance. A cervical cancer survivor, 11 times best-selling author. Let's do that again. Let me say that again. 11-time best-selling author and certified leadership leader. Woo! Okay. This woman knows her stuff. Okay. Lisa brings resilience, faith, and practical strategy to her work, empowering leaders to thrive and personally and professionally as well. Let's give a massive round of applause to the one, the only Dr. Yvette Jones.
How many of you, by a show of hands, will leave this world with all the body parts that you came in with, that you were born with? Everyone will have all their body parts, everything that you came into this world with. You'll still have that? Okay. You won't? Okay. So I'm not the only one, right? I'm not the only one. In 2009, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer, papillary serous carcinoma of the cervix. I had no symptoms. There was no precursor that would tell me that my body was carrying something to that magnitude. There was no family history, no one that I can identify with in my family that had cancer. So I said, I need another opinion. I got that other opinion. And that doctor looked at me and he said, you need to make a decision immediately, whether I'm going to do the surgery or someone else. Because from your first biopsy a week ago, it is already spreading. And once it gets to your major organs, we won't open you up. You will die. I said, that's what the other guy said. But I told him, I need one more opinion. And he said, and I need time. He said, you don't have time. I said, I'm going to take that time. So I went to my chief physician. And my chief physician told me, you shall live and not die, and it will never return again. Now, I said there was no precursor, but actually there was. I was almost 400 pounds. I stand here today at 164. How do I look? Okay. Because I had to make some changes in my life. The CDC says that there are, in the United States, about 9 cancers that have an obesity and a cancer link. Okay, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, you name it. And I then had to look at my life, and I had to make some drastic changes. But how many of you know that the very thing that I teach other people to be caring leaders and to lead high-performance teams, I was neglecting myself? How many of you have been neglecting yourself? You have taken yourself off of your schedule. You should be the number one person on your schedule. Because let me tell you, leaders, there is nothing impressive about leading from your exhaustion instead of leading from the power of your example. John Maxwell teaches us, and I'm a John Maxwell certified coach too. How many more John Maxwell coaches in here? I think Sean is one, and a few others. John says, as a leader, you can't lead others until you learned how to lead yourself first. So you must first learn how to lead yourself. And a leader knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way for everyone else, right? So then I had to look at that and then take my own medicine. So people said, Lisa, so what did you do and how did you do it? So I came up with this framework because when I started writing things down, and then I said, man, all of these people that I deal with are very successful, and, people are reaching out to me because in my industry, in my agency, I'm called on a lot to teach, to train, to coach, because I have high performance teams. Every year I get a new team, and that team still outperforms, and I have people who are all over the world now who have come under my leadership, so then they would call me and ask me to teach. And then when I said, I started writing this down, and then team members started saying, but I don't see the change in my leader. We're doing the work, and we know that they care about us, but I don't think they care about themselves. So then I started sitting down with those leaders, and then I said, if the price of success is costing you your family, it's costing you your health, it's costing you your time, and you're not leading well, looking well, or living well, or loving well, then that cost is too high. So I came up with this framework, and I want you to write down the word success. S-U-C-C-E-S-S. And I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version because of the time frame that we're in now. Now, I'm talking to you because I don't want the spotlight on me right now. I really don't. I came here as a lighthouse to shine the light on all of you leaders that have been neglecting yourselves. And I want you to know that it's not cute wearing a badge of honor, wearing, busyness as a badge of honor. I see that all the time. People love to say I'm busy. People love to say I'm doing something. But then I find out that they are the ones who are most depleted. So what I did was I came up with this framework, success. The first one is sacred self-care. Sacred self-care, and whatever that means to you. If that's scheduling that massage, if it's scheduling that appointment, if it is scheduling, that time for you to just rest. And rest is okay. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is stewardship, and it is wisdom for all leaders. The you. Update and understand your numbers. Do you know how much you weigh? Do you know what your blood pressure is? Do you know what your A1C levels are? Do you know what your blood type is? I can't believe the number of people who don't know their own blood type. And then the first C is to cultivate a community of people who have earned the right to be in your inner circle. You heard Dr. Sean say it earlier. Know who you're going to do business with. One of the first persons that I had to put in my inner core was my medical team. I am so close to my doctors. I have their personal cell phone numbers that whenever I am away or out of the country or out of town, if anything happens to me, I can call them on their personal cell phone. I don't know if they do it to all patients, but because I went into my doctor's office appointment with a coat, a white coat, lab coat, and I said, from here on out, there will be no decisions made without consulting me first. I am a partner in my medical care. I will not disrespect you by wearing this white lab coat in this room. I will not do that. But I want you to know this is how serious I'm taking my health. So my doctors already know that whenever they come to me with anything that I need to supplement, they automatically know, Lisa, here, you could try to get this through food, or you're going to do it this holistic way. So they start knowing, they automatically know me now. But you cannot be afraid of medical doctors. I have seen so many people who are afraid to challenge their doctors. Please don't be afraid to do that. Make them a part of your inner core circle. And here's another thing. There are people who are in your lives for a reason and for a season. Remove some of those people out of your lives that no longer serve you and no longer have earned the right to be in your inner core circle. And it is okay to say no, okay? Why don't we do that right now? Everyone say the word no. No. Say it again. No. No is a complete sentence. There have been people I have been friends with, and I had to think, where was I in my mental capacity at the time I allowed that particular friendship? Because where I am now and where they were, I then had to remove them from my core circle. They no longer earned the right to be in my inner circle. And I'm okay about it. You have to be unapologetic about it, and you do not have to ask for permission. Okay, just give notice. Just give notice that it's no longer going to happen, okay? And I think Sean mentioned that earlier, where he had to let someone know, it's okay, I won't call you anymore, you won't call me anymore. The next C is calendar yourself. How many appointments have you missed? I calendared myself for that yearly appointment, ladies. You know that appointment I'm talking about. And that's how I knew that there was something lurking in my body too heavy for me to carry. And only to find out that it was stage 3 cervical cancer. But it was because I had that appointment. Had I not had the appointment when I did, I would not be on this stage, sit here to talk to each of you. I'm excited about that. Thank you. The E, lead by example. I've already said that. Lead by the power of your example. People need to see healthy, whole leaders. How many of you know hurt people hurt people? But how many of you know healthy people heal people? Healthy people help people to live well, to look well, to lead well, to love well. And then that S, I want you to shift. Make that mindset shift. I had to do that when I found out that those cancer cells, that fat cells, cancer can hide in fat cells. Then I said, okay, I need to make a change. And I thought I was eating healthy, but my quantity, my portion sizes were too large. So in full transparency, I had the bariatric sleeve procedure, okay, but it still took 10 years to release that weight. It took 10 years, and I'm okay with that because this is the result of it, and I just love doing this, because, I didn't have that before. And what have you now? Now, let me tell you, I've never been shy, okay? I was a full-figure model, okay, at the age of 18. So I always modeled and what have you because I always thought I was pretty and cute, okay? But now, having the confidence, and this is what this conference is, Inspire Your Confidence Summit, I had to realize that it was more than being cute because what I was carrying around was so unhealthy for me. But I lead by example with it. How many of you know the power of suggestion? So as a leader, there will be times when I'll just put a bottle of water on my desk when someone walks in. Or I'll put bottled water in my suite as people walk through the door. I'll put fruit right there, and people just go, oh, that's right, Lisa, I do need that. But they also know that when they come in my suite, it's going to be healthy things for them to eat because I am going to be that leader to lead by example. I did not go through stage 3 cervical cancer to come back and not take control of my life. And then that last S is to shift. To start today. It was shift and then start today. Make today your January 1st. You do not have to wait until the first of the year like everybody else does, and then by January 20th, most people fall off, okay? But make today your January 1st, that you are going to do those things, that you are going to make sure that you lead well, look well, live well, and love well, because people are watching you. You are an example to those that are in your care. But the first person you have to care about is you. Be unapologetic about it, give people notice, and learn that the power of no is a complete sentence. Thank you.